moly. 5 years of epic Baron steals, crazy backdoor races in the bases, and now we're finally here. Welcome everyone to Wild Rift 5 years anniversary, celebrating so many moments and so many memories and wonderful stories on Summoner's Rift. My name is Rafa, I'm your host, and with me on my left is the very man who guides the very destiny of the Rift. You might know him as Papa Smoothie. I know him as my very good friend David. Welcome to the stream, brother.
Hey friends, I'm David, the executive producer on WildRift, and I can't believe it's been 5 years already.
Yeah, do you remember how WildRift began in the first place?
It honestly feels like yesterday we were still in some Riot basement trying to create this mobile version of League of Legends. We knew there were huge pressure on us.
Yeah.
Right? The expectations were sky high. How are we going to create the high fidelity, fluid gameplay of League on a phone, on the go, right? And so controls were at the top of our mind, how to make sure that we can, whether it is a chaotic team fight, or it was a skirmish in the jungle, or is that 1v1 duel to the death, where you can target and find and pinpoint with accuracy who exactly you want to target. And so we spent a ton of time working on our controls, our camera, our movement. And so like when you talk about early days, that is like the first thing that comes to my mind.
And being able to squeeze that experience onto a tiny device. I mean, as someone that coming from League of Legends, I was super excited when Riot Games came out with their 10-year anniversary, and they were mentioning that Wild Rift is, or Summoner's Rift is coming to your phone. Mm-hmm. And I'm just thinking, how do you cram all of that? Just tell me about the stories and things you learned along the way in getting to where we are now 5 years down the road.
Yeah, so I think a foundational layer that we start with, we call it League moments. Right? Whether it is the, oh, Faker, what was that? Or he's still going, like those kind of plays, we got to make sure those experiences can be replicated. You can still have them, feel them, experience them on the phone. But you know, that's the base. Once we put it out there, once we got it into the hands of players, I still remember seeing the first play test where our players, especially for our high level players, got their hands on Zed, for example. The things they were able to do with that character, it blows past every expectation we have ever had.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, David, and just being able to reminisce on 5 years of history, it's a great journey. And I think the best way to celebrate that journey is with rewards.
Of course, man. Well, a great journey, like you said, deserves great rewards. So we're not just celebrating the past, we want to celebrate with all of our incredible community here. And just by being here, celebrating with us, well, you're going to get some free, awesome rewards.
That's right, chat. So if you are here right now, we're going to have a pinned link in the chat that you can click on, follow the instructions, or you can just scan the QR code on the screen as well. And if you're hanging out with us throughout the rest of the stream, there might be some special surprises. And I'm already excited just thinking about what goodies we might have for any of our lucky viewers in the chat. But we still haven't introduced everyone that is part of today's Wild Rift 5th birthday.
That's right. Well, we can't throw a party without all of our great friends with us. So, John and Will, let's see what's happening with them.
Hello everyone, I'm John. I'm the product lead on WildRift, an old friend to you. So today we're having a new friend, William.
Hey everybody, happy 5th anniversary and happy 5th anniversary to WildRift team as well. You know, my name is William, I am the tech lead for WildRift, and it was great to meet you guys.
Yeah, William, I can't believe it's been 5 years. So we're like interacting a lot with our players, and we have a lot of like gameplay changes that deepening our player experience, and we are trying to make our play style more versatile, and also we want to build deeper connection with our like players and the community, and it feels super exciting and super moved to me.
Absolutely. I think, you know, all of this we're doing today and all the things is really building connections and listening to a lot of feedback, right? We want to make sure the community has the best possible experience, players has best possible experience, and then, yeah, let's send it back to LA. Sorry, David.
It's been a great 5 years together and making sure that we continue setting up the future for another 5 years, 10 years, who knows how many more down the road, David.
We got to keep evolving, right? We got to keep up. It is never good enough for us to stay pat, rest on our laurels, think what we have now is good enough. And so looking forward, right? For us, it's often more than just, oh, what is this one champion change or what this one balance change? A lot of times one will be looking at some of the foundational challenges that exist.
Let's take a step back, and I know we talked about how the game first started, but obviously when you have a vision for something, you need to have some goals set down. So for you, what were some of the expectations you had for the game when first creating it?
Yeah, well, so thanks for pulling me back a little bit just before diving in there. In terms of us coming to the party for mobile MOBAs, we're not the first kids on the block.
Yeah.
Right? There has been other mobile MOBAs already. So for us, for Riot, for League, to be on mobile, we had to put something special out there. And what I mean by special is we believe there's some foundational challenges with the entire genre, right? Playing MOBAs, people know it's stressful. It's high intensity, right? It is like white knuckling of like, oh, what's gonna happen every moment to moment. And so
Get you on the edge of your seat.
You're always on the edge of your seat. And not like being able to start and stop. Well, that is stressful. Every single game feels like a zero sum. You winning means I'm losing. Or there's other case where it's a game of 10 players. A single player is able to impact the experience of 9 other players. And so some of these elements are what I'm trying to allude to as those foundational challenges of the MOBA genre. And we take that on our shoulders to try and find new ways to address that, new innovations that can kind of round out the experience for players. That gets us excited, thinking that, hey, nobody else has really found meaningful solutions to these core problems. And every single patch, from this patch to the next, whether it is this year or the next year or 5 years later, those are the kind of problems we're going to be trying to solve.
Right. Well, we've managed to get 5 years so far down the road, but do you ever look at League, the fact that they have 10 years on us as experience to look at for either inspiration or just being able to learn from the trials and errors that they've gone through as well?
Absolutely, right? Inspiration comes from everywhere, but especially right from our friends at League. We like to think of we're one big family, right? So many of us, you mentioned yourself, myself included, a lot of us started as League players. And so even in the very beginning of WildRift, it was really, really important for us to try to recapture some of the magic, some of the feelings of exploration, the feelings of discovery. I feel like you never exactly know what that next game is going to look like. That's the kind of like the magic in the bottle, the lightning in the bottle that we want to capture with WildRift, and looking to how League, the experiments they run, the experiences the League players have had, those are all things we're going to be learning and taking inspiration from. And players, you should definitely expect us to be even closer, being even more integrated, a bigger part of the entire League community.
Yeah, and I think that is the most important part about WildRift at the end of the day, is it comes back to community, because without community and without everyone, whether you're watching a chat right now or those who are going to be waking up to a special surprise with the latest patch that we just dropped, it's all thanks to you. And because it's thanks to you, we want to get to know you more and about the stories that you have been able to experience over the past 5 years. When did you all get your start, chat? I know for you, David, you've been working on this since day one, since you helped create the game.
Well, every single win that I have makes me feel like the beta champ, but every loss, it feels like I'm just starting from day one again. But how about you, Rafa? When did you get your start in WildRift?
And we just want to make sure everyone knows in chat, our poll is, how long have you been playing WildRift? You can see the answers in the chat below. A, day one beta champ, B, veteran, C, ascendant, or D, fresh recruit. We got some varying answers. I know you asked me, when did I get my start?
That's right.
Well, obviously I told you that I remember WildRift was first coming out, but it didn't drop in the America servers until March 2021. And I remember just waiting for that release date, late March, and messaging a bunch of my friends like, guys, you got to jump on WildRift with me. I think the game is going to be truly special. And I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith. And just making sure. But before I get further into that, we're going to close the poll and check out. Wow, Dave, that is crazy. We have a lot of people that have been with us since day one.
Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting us since day one. We really wouldn't be here without all of your support. And it is crazy, right? And internally, we have a term we call, like, it's the core, right? We call our core players. Everything is about our core players, the players that support us day in and day out, the players who will wake up and plan their days, plans their week around. Like, it is so fulfilling knowing that we're creating something that has such an impact on everybody's lives.
Well, since we have so many day ones with us in the chat, why don't we go back to day one with you? You've already talked a little bit about some of the origins of WildRift, but what did the game originally look like? Did you always have the vision for the game now 5 years down the road?
Yeah, I think this could be a good time to talk about some of the crazier stuff that we weren't able to even share earlier on.
Oh, some behind the scenes stories.
Yeah, so when when the team first got together thinking about creating a mobile experience, we didn't even know it was going to be a MOBA. Right? We tried a variety of different experiences, a variety of different game modes, ways to play. But here at Riot, MOBA is in our DNA. Right? So we just kept coming back to hey, what if we got into the MOBA game? What if we got into the mobile MOBA space and created something unique, created something new, something that was worthy of the League of Legends title? And yeah, like from there, it became a whirlwind of us always be launching, right? You mentioned you started in March. We first launched in Southeast Asia, launched in Brazil, right? Back in the late 2020s.
Yeah.
And it just kept going. We just kept launching and launching and launching. That was the first couple of years. It was absolutely a whirlwind back then.
I just remember seeing all the crazy footage of our first release champion, seeing that Lee Sin could basically ward hop without needing to ward. You just get a free dash, and that just opened a whole world of possibilities. And I was super excited to see not only how the game was going to be for the casual fan, but also seeing how some of the best players in the world would take it to a global stage. And that's where I got my start, is just being able to tell some of the earliest stories about WildRift esports, going all the way for any North American fans. Summoner Series was the first iteration of that here for fall of 2021 before it became WNS for spring 2022. We got to go to Mall of America in Minnesota. That was one of the coolest LAN events I've ever been a part of. Just having the desk overlook the amusement park that was built into the mall as well. I just think so many times about how awesome it was for WildRift esports to just have that flourishing part. And it goes back to community, right, David?
Absolutely.
And the fact that you had a vision and expectation of what this game was going to look like, but was there anything that you didn't expect coming out of the game when it first dropped?
Well, I think we talk about like the foundation layer being the epic league moments that we had.
Yeah.
But honestly, how that was going to translate on the phone, right? That we can do all the internal play testing, we can do all the simulations we can, but once it got into the hands of our players, we call it maybe like the death of the author, if you will. Again, players just absolutely took it to a different level, right? We were playing, like, our twin stick controls, right? Was something new that we were experimenting with. But then players came in with claw grips and like spider grips.
Crazy.
And it was like playing the piano on their phone.
I'm almost hitting Unk status right now, but just making sure that I was able to adapt and see what the younger players were being able to do. But there's so many things that we get to talk about, so many moments and memories over the years that we get to celebrate, and there's no better way to celebrate than with cake.
It's got to be cake.
So check this out, y'all. Throughout the live stream today, we're going to be having this beautiful cake where you all in chat will be able to directly influence what this cake looks like by the end of the stream. So make sure you are letting us know what you want to see on this cake, and we'll see if we can get it on there as we continue decorating it throughout this morning's broadcast. Now, David, I've been told that we have something very special for our community to see. Everyone in chat, you might have seen a little teaser of it on social media, but David, why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
Excited is an understatement for me here. The team wanted to create something absolutely magical for this 5-year moment. And so we wanted something that can capture the passion, the joy, the investment that all of our players, our community has given to us over the last 5 years. And we knew it required a special song to do that. And a special song from a special artist that many of you may be familiar with already. And so with that, I can't hold the secret back any longer, folks.
Let's jump in.
Let's take a look.
Slipping through my fingers, wish that I could fall asleep with a light on. Searching for the present tense, 'cause you're the way that I can rely on. Concrete nights, hearts out on the dash. Somewhere soon, we're gonna wish we could go back to. These growing pains are beating hearts. Late night driving through the dark, and all the ways we fell so hard just to find out who we are. So take my hand, take the long way home. Light a fire up before we go. Heaven knows when the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life.
Wow. I don't know what to say, David. I promised myself I would not choke up on stream, and I'm not going to do it, chat, but it is very, very, very hard because, wow, what a beautiful tribute. How long have you been keeping this under wraps?
It's been a tough couple of months, and it's been on repeat, living absolute rent-free up here.
Yeah, I can't imagine. First of all, very special thank you to Ning Ning from ASPA for working with the WildRift team of putting this song together. There's a lot that we can talk about and dive into, but also special shout out because it's Ning Ning's birthday today. So not only she gives us a gift on her birthday, so I think the best that we can do, chat, is spam some hearts and some cake emojis in the chat. Let Ning Ning know how much this song means to all of us and being able to get such a special tribute, because this song, I think my favorite sequence from that video was the main character reminiscing on all the friends that he made through WildRift and how that has helped him evolve through the course of time. And those kind of friendships and memories will stay with him for a lifetime.
Absolutely. We built so many friendships across these 5 years, but even more than that, we talk about League, but this experience of being part of the league community. This is what it likes to be a league player. I've learned so much myself growing up with this IP and be able to contribute even a little bit back here. We're thrilled to have that. And again, a huge shout out to Ning Ning. She started with us at the very launch of WildRift back in Southeast Asia.
Sea Champions, that's right. I remember being on that stream and just coming in, and one of my commentator friends almost like, they got Aspa to come and perform, and they performed next level to highlight the finals. That is a core memory for me. But of course, we got our thoughts in. We would love to hear from John and Will on what they thought about the song.
To be honest, I was deeply moved, William. So I don't know what to say. It's the MV and anthem for every legend in Derry. So when personally, I watched the movie a lot of times because I saw the spirit was from everyone, like every player and every single of us. So for example, the MV is more about the architecture student growing from a student to the career, to the society, but WildRift was always being there to be their companion. So we can see from the very end, so everywhere he goes, so there's always like people, there's always their friends behind them. So I think that is the spirit we want to also inject into our spirit of developing the game. I think every fragment we have been taking to make every single of you become a better person to face every challenge, both in the game and outside of the game. So I think all the players share the same journey with us. And also we can see our new champions, Natalie and Rel, their backstory was also similar to the whole spirit we want to convey to the players. It's more about growth, and along the way of the growth, they can get to the glory. So that's why we named our patch thematic, which is called Gilded Glory. So what do you think, William?
I loved this MV's energy, right? It was, this energy to me really reflects the community's passion, dedication, and love to the game, right? And you know, love to Aspa, love to Ning Ning, happy birthday, right? And love to all the people that worked on it behind the scenes and for making our dream, or my dream, of making Riot, of a music company, come true. And you know, this MV really is a really heartfelt tribute to every player on this path to glory.
Right. So talking about glory, so let's let's type the answer in the chat. So what does glory mean to you? So I think glory means like differently to everybody. So what do you think?
I think it's a glory to me. Really, I can tell you the feeling of it, is that when we really get to a big patch, like the one that just went live today, right? It's that moment that people and our players today can go and download and play, and they can experience all the excitement. That is a glorious feeling to me.
Yeah, I have the same feeling. So because we travel a lot, so every time we go to the airport, we can see like the players hold the phones, and I feel super proud to see the players like group together and they play our game.
Yeah,
I think that is also the glory to us.
Absolutely. I think, you know, what can we say? Tell us what it means to you, right? Tell us in chat.
I think all the celebrations we're having right now is just the beginning. So what's coming out like next? Let's get back to David and Rafa.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they set it up. What does glory mean to us? I saw an answer in chat that it really struck a tone with me. I know it's not one word, but growing. Oh, well, growing up personally was the full answer, but I think growing and evolution is really what I saw in that music video. You just being able to see the player's perspective and overall growth of what he started out with in WildRift, and wherever he goes in life, he can always look back on how WildRift helped shape his life and his ambitions and his values. I know for me, one of my favorite stories about WildRift in my time was when I first started getting into esports and started looking at some of the pro players. If he's in the chat, hi Tybe. This guy was a Camille one trick back when she was broken in Jungle. And I was super excited to see him play in Summoner Series, and then through his time on NME and a couple other teams, we go to WNS, we go to Mall of America, and our two teams that qualified to Icons was Sentinels and Immortals. But Sentinels needed a sub-jungler, so Tybe was called up. He goes over to Singapore to compete with Sentinels, and being able to see him rise up against Guangdong Freaks, which was an opponent that was favored to beat Sentinels on that world stage. It was the first time that a North American team had ever beaten an Eastern team on the world stage like that, and Tybe was able to really own in, coming a long way from just being a Camille one-trick, being able to display a mastery of multiple champions like Wukong and Kha'Zix, and it just goes back to all the times about thinking the early days of community and evolution for this game.
It's never just about the summit, right?
That's
it's about
right.
the path getting there.
It's the journey along the way.
Yeah, and well, speaking of journeys too, reflecting myself back for WildRift, it's almost like walking through the seasons for us, right? When we first launched, it was Summoner's Rift, something that was familiar, warm, right, nostalgic for all of us. But then we evolved from there. Right?
Yeah.
We brought our own version of Elemental Rift for our players. Then we kept evolving from there, right? Where were you when Viego went on to the Blessed Isles, right?
Oh,
and we got
yeah.
the Shadow Isles arc. And from there, we got, right, T-Hex. We got the Hex Rift going on.
A giant robot dinosaur just walking around on Summoner's Rift. Definitely one of the coolest things I've ever seen implemented in the game. But it just goes back to how this was you guys pushing that envelope forward of how you can distinguish yourself as what WildRift is and being able to show its uniqueness in the game.
Yeah, and every single one of those evolutions, we depended on you, the players. Right?
That's
you
right.
guys telling us
right.
what was important, what experiences you wanted, what worked, what didn't work. And so please keep on giving us that feedback. We really do depend on it to keep on making the game better. You shape it with us.
And speaking of which, we're going to ask for your feedback right now in a very fun quiz. By the way, if you are just joining us now in the stream, make sure you check out the pinned link in the chat or scan the QR code, because who knows, there might be some special goodies coming your way if you participate and hang out with us. But first of all, let's get into the beginnings of this game and start asking the chat some questions related to when the game first launched.
Yeah, what we saw, there was a lot of beta champions with us. So let's see if the beta champions remember how many kills did y'all register in the very first minute of WildRift's launch.
Oh, in the very first minute?
The very first minute.
So would this just be limited then to Southeast Asia, Korea, and Brazil?
That's right, that's right.
Oh, how many kills could you get in the first minute of the game launching? It's got to be at least 100,000, maybe more.
I think it might be more. I think it's got to be in the millions, folks.
Oh, wow. Actually, you know what? You might be right. Could be in the million. Make sure you are letting us know in chat what you think it is, because we're going to be closing that poll very soon. I'm going to just take a wild guess. 1.3. I like 1.3.
You like 1.3, Rafa? Well, I think our players were more proactive.
Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. All right, I'm getting now from production that our answer is 2.2 million.
I hope a whole bunch of that were dead Teemos.
Wow. Well, David does not like Teemo today, I learned.
All right, well, on the subject of getting first bloods and getting kills, how about kill streaks, right? How many godlike kill streaks did our community achieve in the first 24 months of release? So we got a longer time frame now.
Yeah, that's 2
Yeah,
years.
That's 2 years.
So definitely more than a million. Now the question becomes, are we in the tens of millions? Are we in the hundreds of millions? Do we hit a bajillion? Or do we hit a billion?
Well,
bajillion might be too much.
did you contribute to the God Streak kill fund?
At least 13.
You got 13 of them in there.
I
Over
die a
2
lot.
years, Rob.
Listen, I die a lot. But they're good deaths, because I make sure that we're always getting objective somewhere on the map. But not a lot of deathless times. Now, I believe we do have the answer for this one. And wow, that is a big number. Okay, bear with me, chat. 682,149,487 godlike kill streaks within the first 2 years of WildRift.
That's a lot of kill streaks, and that's a lot of godlikes.
Yeah, that is a lot. But you know what? We haven't heard from John and Will in a while, so I want to get their opinions and see what else they have to share for the stream.
And actually, David, John is holding the team here. So talking about the godlike, I think I'm a jungler. It's super hard for me to do the godlike in a game, but I'm always be supporting for other players to get the godlike. So there's a lot, right?
Yep.
So talking about like the godlike and what other like questions we may have, we do have some small, like tiny rewards and surprises for the players.
Tiny?
So, yeah, tiny. Start from the tiny one.
Sure.
So,
Let's start there.
Yeah. Starting from the tiny one. So we're super excited to see all the interactions while you're typing in the chat. So we're super excited to see all the comments here, and we're welcoming you to join us, and you can get an epic skin selection chest.
Absolutely. But John, let's go back to that stat really quick, the godlike stat. That stat can't be right? Because every single of our viewers is godlike to us.
Right.
That was a corny joke, I know.
Did you make the contribution for that?
I did, but I played much later, so I want to secretly not say that to anybody so the team doesn't hear. But I did join the Rift much later though.
Yeah, so talking about like the lanes, so
Yep.
I'm a jungler. So let's take a guess. What is the most common matchup and on what lane?
Is there a more classic than
Yeah.
Garen versus Darius?
You mean on the top lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aaron is a very like typical champion in our Rift.
Absolutely.
So what do you say like the other lanes?
I feel like there's, ADCs wise, we gotta have top Ashe versus Caitlyn.
Oh, that's interesting. I think for the marksman, it was super popular since our launch. So for like marksman, because hit and run is super like easy for us to do it on mobile. So I believe the most common lane should be the bot lane, the Drake lane. Right, here's the answer. I think the most popular and most common matchup is in our Drake lane. And Jinx versus Ashe, we've reached 44.7 million players to do the matchups.
Wow, that's a big number. That is a lot of very common Jinx versus Ashe.
Yeah,
Very nice. Look, we have a Jinx right here.
yeah, we have Jinx right here.
And then there's Ashe right here too. All right, okay. So let's kind of talk about the next question, John.
Sure.
And chat, please let us know what your thoughts are. What patch update number created the most broken hero? Champion. It's not Yumi.
That's interesting. So to be very honest, every champion we launched, we did a lot of like play tests. We did a lot of like pitches. If we can see some like we do some like mobile native designs on WildRift. So we put a lot of efforts to the Rift. So when you are mentioning about the most broken champion, let me think about it. I'm a jungler. So what about Kha'Zix? So Kha'Zix was a super popular champion back in the days, and upon Kha'Zix launch, like the ban rate was super high. So that was why we spent a lot of efforts to do the tuning, to do the balancing when Kha'Zix is like appeared on the Rift.
Very cool. And the answer, please, John.
It's
what is
also the
answer?
jungler, right? It's Rammus. So in patch 3.3, it's been 2 years. So I can also remember when Rammus was first launched, I played Rammus a lot.
Yeah.
And over the patches, we hear the feedback from the players, and we also look into the stats, and we do a lot of like adjustments for Rammus to make sure like every lane and every like champion they're meaningful in the Rift.
You know all of the information, so you must rank really well.
Yeah, I'm a super competitive player, and I'm targeting to reach Grandmaster in every season.
Very nice, John.
Right. So what about you? So
I am mostly ARAM. Let's send it back to David though.
sure.
Well, it looks like John and Will are super competitive with their ranked grind. I know I put a lot of time into ranked when it first came out and then getting ready for icons. But I still, even though I don't play the game nearly as much, now that Italy is back and introducing the Wild Rift, I know I'm super competitive. What about you, David? What's going on with the Wild Rift team? Do they play as much ranked as they do working on the game?
Yeah, we are a competitive bunch, and I think it's extra interesting for us where there's actually disproportionately a ton of support mains on the team. Honestly, almost half the team are support mains. I guess
Wow.
we're also very supportive of each other, but they're all bloodthirsty supports. And so they're both competitive and they're supports. So we got a strange mix going on here.
Well, now, before we move on further in the show, we actually have some very lucky winners already on our live stream. So congratulations to the following. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled out in your Riot account, as some very special rewards will appear in your account, in your inbox, in the next few days. Now, I want to continue further because reminding everyone, if you haven't already done so, scan the QR code or go to the pinned link in the chat, and who knows, we might still have more surprises later down the road of this stream. I want to go down memory lane one more time, David, and I want to think about, with 5 years of Wild Rift, there's so many stories, there's so many moments, things that stay with us for a lifetime, and just wanting to get an idea of not only stories that we've experienced, but also I would love to hear from chat. What are some of your favorite stories? Whether it's just this super cool insect play you made the first time playing Lee Sin, or if there is a base race you had, or if there's some friends that you've made for a lifetime because of this game. David, what about yourself?
Yeah, thanks even just for this opportunity to share some of these stories. Like the couple of stories that we have prepared, they really do sit close to heart. So the first one is a personal one for me. Coming into Riot, coming into the gaming industry, I really didn't know what to expect. But having been here for a while, very early on in the development of WildRift, taught me some life lessons that I think I'll never forget. And one of these we were creating one of the first playtest environments, right? Focus groups where we got players in Shenzhen, China to come in and experience the game with us. At the time, we invited 13 players, right, as part of this focus group, Rafa. But on the morning of that experience, we got a note that sometime in the afternoon, there was going to be a code red level typhoon happening in the area. And so we were scrambling in the morning, like, oh my gosh, we got to rebook our flights, we got to reschedule, we got to redo everything. But little did we know, we heard a knock on the door. And of the 13 players that we invited to come join us, 12 of them still showed up. And so we were flabbergasted. We were like, oh my gosh, like, how excited, how much passion did you have to still come out and support us? And like almost unanimously.
That's so awesome.
Right, from all of them, we're like, hey, this is such a meaningful part of my life. I build lifelong stories, friendships across with League, and they're just excited to contribute and give back. And seeing all the love and support we're getting from our players, our community, just fuels me and gives me passion to give back even more, tenfold back to them.
That's so cool. And it's just so awesome to see the dedication from people, especially since this was the very beginning and so many people were already excited about being able to see through the earliest visions of the game and making it a reality. I know I already shared, my personal story with Ty, but you being now an executive producer on Wild Rift, but then working on gameplay, were there any other fan stories that you've come across in your lifetime?
Yeah, and I think for us, we've been talking about getting feedback, right? Seeing online feedback, seeing the Riot chatter, of the Reddit chatter, if you will, that is one side of it. But this does not compare in any way to when we're on site with our players, right, at their local events, at their local communities. And so one of these stories that we gathered was from a player in Brazil. His name was Arthur, and this one I think just encapsulates everything that not even just Wild Rift or League of Legends, but gaming can do for everybody.
Okay.
So for Arthur, he had a dual partner, right? This was back on League. They were dual partners. They were playing together. They cultivated friendships together. But at a certain point in time, they no longer had access to a PC, right? Right? Life caught up. There's more things to do. But guess what? Right? This is where Wild Rift comes in, right? You can take the League experience anywhere on the go. And so Arthur and his dual partner were still able to connect and keep in touch and be part of the League universe through WildRift. But unfortunately, as time went on, right, the friend, they're no longer with us. And now Arthur is able to still cherish his friend's memories while being on WildRift. And it's just reminiscing, remembering all the great times that they have had. And so now thinking back as a game dev, but for us, whether we are changing the lives of 1 million people, or even for just one fan, that matters less to us, but it's always about leaving the world in a better place compared to when we started. And the stories like this, again, fuels us, gives us the energy, gives us the passion to always come in and try to do our life's best work for the players, because they absolutely deserve it.
I mean, that's how you can, keep memories like that forever intact and forever in our hearts, right? Because those are the things that you get to keep with you as life goes on. And it's these memories that is really what makes life worth living and meaningful. And I think when we're able to come together and meet all these fans that have so many stories to tell, so many awesome experiences to share with us, that's when I really, really love being able to say I'm part of the WildRift community. And speaking of which, David, we're going to get a chance to do a little bit of that in just a few weeks.
Yeah, we're going to help create more of those core memories of getting people together, forming community. And that's where Smash is going to come. This is the celebration, right? This annual celebration we want to have happening in Vietnam from November 14th to 16th. We can't wait to see everybody there.
That's right. It's going to be an amazing time. I've already seen internally some photos of what the venue is looking like. We're going to be able to share more details later on. But for those who are already hyped, check out this teaser below. I am so excited. Wild Round Smash. It's going to be the culmination of multiple Wild Round events that were held throughout the entire year in multiple regions. I know Brazil, Turkey, Vietnam, Korea, Philippines, China are all involved. And I'm going to be lucky enough that I get to go there and cast with 7 other awesome friends. And if you want to check out more full details, I know we released an article. But for everyone in chat below, we want to remind everyone that there's still some surprises that we might be giving out throughout the stream. So make sure you scan that QR code, you check out the pinned link in the chat, just to make sure that you might have a chance of being able to participate. Now, David, this is an awesome celebration we're going to have in Vietnam next month. I'm thinking, is my fit right now good enough for Vietnam?
Well, I think you got to level this up, right?
I got to level up.
You got to level up. Well, how are you going to come to the venue?
It's going to be a big party, but what does that mean to you? Well, how should I dress if it's a big party like that?
Well, we've been talking about parties, we've been talking about galas, right? We've been talking about like dance recitals, if you will. We got a skin line for that, right? That's our Crystal Rose skin line.
Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and ask chat some questions about Crystal Rose, because I know that is one of our most popular skin lines in the game.
Absolutely.
So, reminder everyone in chat, if you want to participate, we're going to show the answers for you on screen, but also make sure that you spam the answer, and we'll see if anyone can get it right. David, why don't you kick us off with our first question?
So our first question here, folks, is can folks guess what are the top 3 most owned Crystal Rose skins among all players?
Okay,
so
well,
we have 3 seasons of Crystal Rose,
yes,
Rafa.
3 seasons of Crystal
That's
Rose.
Right.
One of them's got to be Lux, surely.
Well, it was Lux and Ezreal that kicked everything off, right? It was kind of their celebration that everybody's been a part of.
Yeah, but then what's been added? I know Viego is one that I use a lot, but I don't know if everyone else would be using Crystal Rose Viego. There's Ezreal, there's... Oh no, I'm blanking. See, it's, well, you know what? I don't have to answer the question.
Chat, save them.
Chat, please save me. And we're getting the answer now. It is Yone, Lux, and Sona. You know what? Sona makes sense. I can see that. But let's move on with the next question, David.
All right, there. So the next question: how many Crystal Rose champions and skins are there in WildRift?
3 seasons of Crystal Rose.
You got a little hint back there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's got to be more though. This is only like a portion.
That's right. That's right.
Oh shoot. Are we in the 20s at this point? We have at least 20 skins now, right?
Well, especially if you count all the variations
Right.
and the prestige versions
Well,
that we have.
I'm hearing that we got the answer locked and loaded, ready to go. It is 29 Crystal Rose skins. So we're almost in the 30s. So when's the next season of Crystal Rose?
I was like, you can never have enough folks in a party, right? Like all great Shakespearean plays, we're gonna get everybody in there. So we'll see, right?
All right. Well, David, I've got a question for you, and we'll see if chat can help us answer this one. What's your favorite Crystal Rose skin?
Oh, I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, yeah.
For chat.
Well, we'll let chat take some time to figure out, but don't spoil it. But you can hint us on what it might be.
Well, I think, looking at any like movies or anime or what have you, I like to cheer for the antagonist.
Oh.
I think you need a good foil. You need a good bad guy to.
David wants to be a bad guy. Today I learned. Okay. Antagonist. Oh, I think I have an idea. I'm now thinking of a Crystal Rose skin, but I'm not going to say anything. We'll let chat ponder this one for just a few more seconds before we close the poll. All right, answers locked and loaded, and it is David. Why don't you let everyone in chat know?
It's got to be Ari. It's got to be Ari. Yep. If you saw from the trailers, right, her being the intrigue, the mystique. Oh, you said it was a party, but what if there was something else going on in the background? Well, you got Ari as the slippery one, but you also have, right, Caitlyn trying to catch her, figuring out what she's trying to do.
That's
like,
right.
This is some new storylines and more intrigue we're trying to add and spice up the party, if you will.
Well, very cool. Thank you, Dave, for sharing. And also want to remind everyone that we've got some more winners in the chat, so make sure you're keeping your eyes peeled. If you were one of those lucky winners, check out your inbox in the next few days, and you're going to have some super cool goodies coming your way. I'm personally jealous because I hear that these are some really, really cool rewards, but I think it is now time, David, to go back to our awesome cake, because we've talked a lot about the origins and the beginnings of this 5-year journey. And we get a chance to see what has become of our first layer of this awesome cake.
We're building it live with everybody, folks. This is layer 1, right? This represents the start, the origins, where it all came about.
Can we get a bite right now? We probably have to save it until the end of the
As
stream.
long as we save a slice for Ning Ning.
You know what? Yes, we need to make sure if Ning Ning can swing her way through, and we'll save her. We'll save her 2 slices.
There we go.
I think that's the least that we can do, right? But as we get ready for our second layer of the cake, one of the things that we like to talk about is obviously the origins, the foundations of the game, but being able to get feedback from community is just as important, because what the vision that we start off with for WildRift doesn't always match up with what the community wants to hear. And that is what leads to the evolution of the game to what it is today.
Right, and like we've been talking about, this game will not be here. We wouldn't be here without our community always telling us and giving us feedback, right? What works, what doesn't work, what is broken, what is not broken, what we'd like to see more of. And I think some of my fondest memories have been champion teasers, right? Telling folks about what is happening, what is the next thing you look forward to, who is the next champion to main. These things have been the absolute core of our identity. We call it, right? Everybody has a champion in them, right? You can see yourself
Wow.
aspire to be one of these champions. I think going forward, we're going to keep on having these great champion moments for people.
I think that just goes back to the core focus of WildRift being always on community, right? And just being able to listen to what our dedicated fans and players love most about the game, but also would like to see more of in the game or like to see changed. And I think that's what creates such a long-lasting game, is when we're able to implement that feedback over time, and then it evolves into something even more than what it began with, right, David?
Yeah, absolutely. And like, we take the good and the bad, right? Thank you for celebrating all our wins, but absolutely, if something is not working for you, we are not at all scared to walk back, right? We're not afraid to say, oh, we made a mistake there. And that's okay, because we're always here to learn and evolve every step of the way with you folks.
Yeah, and you know, we've been hanging out for a while, but I know that John and Will also would love to share some of the things that they've been able to take over the 5 years and what it means for evolution and feedback from the community.
Yeah, William, I do love the word evolution. So we've done a lot of like experiments. We've done a lot of like late night working on like different features and content. To be honest, we spend a lot of time connecting with the community, hear the feedback from the players. So what are we gonna do? So to be honest, there are a lot of work is behind the scene. So what can be shown to the players, we put them super cautious. When they're live to the players, we want to make sure they're responsible for every like move or every like time spent from the players. So there are a lot of like late night experiments, for example, T-Rex, for example, how we're gonna turn AAA RAM into seasons. So these are all the experiments and investment we're doing for the players, even though they're not fully seen by the players. But I think talking back to the glory, I think the glory part is finally we get to launch some of the stuff we're experimenting in the late nights to the players, and we do love to hear back from the players and how they're thinking about it.
Absolutely. But you know, you say that like a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You love it.
Yeah, I love it.
The team loves it. We love to experiment. We love to try all these things. And look, for the community that's listening and watching, right? We are always watching, listening. We're looking at stats. We're prioritizing accordingly. And you know, like, it's very rewarding being a dev, right? It's especially when you're able to get it right and you surprise and delight. You know, we don't want to just build the MVP. We want to build a lovable product. And you know, at the end of the day, I think that's why it makes it so rewarding. And you know, we'll make mistakes, like David said, but we are not we're not afraid to admit it and walk things back, right? So.
Yeah, and also I think everybody on the team is super proud of being that person. We do the experiment and we tell the players how we are thinking of like different like changes and what is the thinking process. So being a dev is not hard. It's not easy. It's like we have a lot of pressure, but we do love to do the experiments for our players. So if you were put in the dev seat for a day like us, for example, sitting like in the middle of us, so what's the first thing you're gonna do? For example, release a Teemo skin that blinds everyone, or more game modes, more chaos, or from the community nerf Darius, for example, like nerf certain champions. So what are the things you want to do when you're sitting like between me and William or even David?
Cool. Let us know in chat.
Yeah, we do want to hear our players' feedback, so prompt your like answers in the chat, and we do love your feedback.
All right.
Oh, I think everybody loves Teemo.
Oh man. There's lots of people that David doesn't like on the stream with him, apparently. Lots of Teemo lovers.
Yeah, I think we gotta cooking up some like Teemo skins.
We
right?
gotta be cooking up some Teemo skins.
Yeah, as always, we want your feedback, and before this session, we had like collected like many questions and many feedbacks from the players, and I think we can start the Q&A session. Okay, there are a lot of questions, so we do want to start by David to let us know like what are the questions and what are the answers, and there's some more answers.
Kick us off, David.
What are you doing to me, chat? Timo? Come on. Let's start with our Q&A. The first one here. Where is David? We miss him. Well, thank you, folks. I'm back. I gotta be back to stop
He's
all
right
this
here, guys.
top range shenanigans.
All right, well, the Q&A is over, right? I mean, that just seemed easy enough. No, don't worry, chat. We still got more questions that we're going to be able to answer. David, do you all plan to create new maps or special modes exclusive to Wild Rift?
Absolutely, right? This is going to be a cornerstone of a lot of the new experiences we are delivering. You have already seen us be crazy, experiment with a bunch of brand new modes. And a lot of times for us, new doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you've never ever seen this before. A lot of times what we're doing is key mechanics from different maps and different modes right now, we treat them as like Lego blocks. So we can mix and match. That's really where ARAM came from, right?
True.
And so you can look out for more of these combinations to create new and exciting experiences.
I mean, when I think back to the Hextech Rift that you guys got, I had never ever seen a robot dinosaur like that before. This still, if you could bring that back, I would very much love that. So, but our next question: do you all plan to create new maps?
Sorry,
sorry, that was the previous question. I would like to know how or why you chose certain Wild Rift exclusive skins for certain characters.
We're starting with the spicy ones. Yeah, I think skins, as a lot of folks know, and we have openly shared this, part of that is, right, we gotta pay the bills. This is part of that. This is why you see some of those most popular champions get skins, so that it gives us a chance to create skins for a wider variety of champions, for some of the more niche, more one-tricky type of champions. So you've seen that. But outside of that as well, right, we are all gonna keep on diving into brand new thematics that folks have never seen before, right? You see almost every single patch now, there's gonna be new exclusive thematics that are here to WildRift, to the mobile experience, and those have been some of our players' absolute favorites, right? Like Crystal Rose, like Calligraphia. You guys have told us loud and clear that's what you'd like to see, and so absolutely expect more of that. But the final piece here, I wanna give folks a little hint and a teaser, which is we've been making a lot of skin lines, right?
Okay.
Yeah, going forward next year, we want to make some more unique champion-specific thematics, right? There's some skin themes that only one champion is a good fit for, right? So for example, if you want Choo-Choo Train Malphite, well, only Malphite could be a Choo-Choo Train. Other champions maybe don't make as much sense as a Choo-Choo Train, right? So these are the kind of things that we're going to be diving into next year. So let us know what you think and which champion-specific thematic you'll like to see.
And who knows, chat? I mean, we've already talked about it before. Feedback is always important, and it might just get implemented as well. But of course, we've taken a couple questions on our end. We would love to hear from John and Will as they take some more questions from you all.
Yeah, thank you, Rafa. So copy that, David. So I think we can start with Timo for our champion-focused exclusive skins. Right, let's move on to the next question.
All right, John. Drum roll, please. First question from the community. Ready? Which champion do you feel is the most overpowered right now? And which is the most difficult to balance?
Yeah, I think instead of the specific champion, I think all the marksmen make it super hard and to have the late nights, because of marksman, as I said, hit and run is super easy on the mobile. So the whole lane is difficult for us to do the balancing. But our balancing philosophy is not only about the champions, but it's also about, for example, runes, map changes, items, boot enchantments. So all those tweaks you are making, they're specifically be tailored around like the different like loadouts of different champions. We want to provide like versatile playstyles for every champion, like David said, so everybody can have a champion insight, so they have their favorite champion. So that is our balancing philosophy right now.
Very cool.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. So could you share some of the work you have done this year?
Right.
I think that's more about the optimization work, right?
All right, let's talk about this. All right.
Don't be too academic. Don't be too academic.
We will keep the tech terms out. So, this is a great question, right? When we talk about quality of life, there's a few things you've told us loud and clear, and we've been listening to your feedback through your ratings, through Reddit, through many different social channels, right? So, let me kind of tell you about this a little bit more. So, we need to focus on game client, game services, and infrastructure, right? We have been experimenting and releasing different client performance patches and latency reduction tech in our services throughout the last few patches for both Wi-Fi and mobile networks. So here are some of the good news for you, Dave. Sorry, John. Not David.
Also to
John.
David.
I
I think
Da-
also
yeah,
to David
also to
and
David.
Rafa, and
This
to
is a homework
players.
assignment.
Yeah.
Right, but this is more for the players, right? We've seen globally a 5% improvement to all games played that are rated as good. So
Ooh.
there's definitely better news. And we've heard a lot of folks asking for regional battle server, right?
Yeah.
And players, community, you'll be happy to know, we've launched new battle servers in both Philippines and Turkey in late June and in July as well. That's not the only places where we're targeting. We're also going to be launching northern Brazil and northern Vietnam servers, and both of these are landing before the end of the year. So far, what we've seen is very promising, right? Average latency improved as much as 50%. And on the game client side, we're also bringing some stuff to reduce patching times, customizable downloads, improving frame rates, looking at better visual effects so you can see, you can gank others and fight Baron in more beautiful effects in the game. So
Yeah, that means a lot to the players when they're the competitive players like me. So talking about the competitive players, they care more about the maps. So will there be a new thematic map like on League of Legends, like Winter Map or Halloween? So I think what we can tell right now is we're hardly working on that. I can't tell more, but yeah, we're still working on that.
we're working hard on it. You mean.
Yeah, we're working hard on it.
Got it. Not hardly working
Yeah,
on
we
it.
want to make every thematic to be very meaningful to the players, and
Right.
they can combine with some of the new gameplay changes we want to launch for the players and for better like quality of life changes. So like still stay tuned. So we're gonna like potentially bring them out.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
Yeah,
You better make a video like Paul. We want to see you
Ow.
on the snow globe.
right.
Or make David do this.
Right, but there's no guarantee, right?
Okay,
So
yep.
we're still hardly working on that.
Got it.
So talking about like the gameplay and interactions between the players. So players are always asking about the all chat. So what do you say? So why it's gone, and are we like planning to bring it back?
All right. Okay. Yeah, so we heard you loud and clear, right? In many channels, even on the social posts for this stream as well.
Right.
So, when we look at a feature, right, there is a few things we look at. When we make these types of decisions, it's a balance between the feature's intended value and the unintended outcome, right? And so for all chat, what we saw was not many were using it, and the folks who were using it, around 90% of the usage was kind of toxic. So what are we going to do about that, right? Well, we do plan to bring it back. So yes, you can quote me on that. Oops, dropped my bear. But we're working on some preventive measures to combat some of the negativity that might go on there. And I can't promise anything, but at least we will definitely be looking at the stats when we do bring it back, and making sure that it's used for the right purposes.
And I think we're also working on like in-game and around game communications among the players, and to make sure like they can, for example, we might update our ping system to let players like understand like what each other like teammate are like making the call, why they're making the call, and to make sure like the decisions are consistent within the game and outside of the game.
Absolutely. All right, John, I got to ask you a question. Ready? Okay, so what is your favorite thing about WildRift, and what new feature recently that was released that you are the most proud of? Let the folks know.
Right. I think the favorite thing about WildRift is more about how we can like launch our behind-the-scene content to the players. That is super exciting to us, and I'm super proud of like all the changes. The majority of the changes, to be honest, some didn't work, to be honest, and we're gonna like do the adjustments. But what do you say, David? So what's your favorite thing on WildRift?
When I absolutely smack you in lane, that's what my favorite thing is, all right? But outside of that, I think Calligraphia skins, right? Calligraphia is also another one of my favorite skin lines, and a sequel is hard to do. following up to our first season of Calligraphia, but seeing the response, seeing how resonant that has been for players, that is definitely a highlight moment for me this year.
And I would love to see more on what the future iterations look like. David, I got another question, though, from you. What is the ultimate identity and ambition of WildRift?
Yeah, this is honestly something we look at ourselves in the mirror and try to ask ourselves every single day, like, where are we taking this game? And if I were to put it in like a sentence, it would be, we want to make sure that regardless of where you are and which platform you are on, you are able to experience the thrill and joy of League of Legends anywhere. And that means to us, right, we call that a forever home. Right? It doesn't matter where you are, this is the place to be if you want that League experience. And that's what it's all about.
You know what, David? You're definitely achieving that, because I snuck in a game on my way to the studio earlier this morning in the car. But another question for you. Do you see adapting some concepts from the amazing cards from Legends of Runeterra and turning them into a champion for WildRift?
Yeah, no, thanks for that question, folks. Like we said, we take inspiration everywhere. And so we absolutely look over to Legends of Runeterra for inspiration. But I think a quick like differentiation there for folks to understand, there's a difference between characters and champions. Right? A great example of that is Yone, for example. Right? The previous version, or the pre-transformation version of Yone, that was a character in Legends of Runeterra. But for Yone to be an aspirational champion on the Rift, well, he had to go through this transformation and become this demon hunter that he is now.
Yeah.
Right? And so these are kind of things that if we were going to bring over any champions from Legends of Runeterra, they'll have to go through a similar metamorphosis.
Okay, well, thank you for the insight, David. Continuing on with our Q&A, since Galio's Age's release, I've seen players with a lot of games and a 50% win rate climb to higher ranks. It feels bad to see sometimes. Are we looking to make any changes?
Well, again, like ranked and feelings about ranked and matchmaking is probably the most popular question we get. And now, how Galio's Ages would have impacted folks' rank climb, this was a known variable. We knew this was going to happen, but we weighed the pros and cons. We looked at the trade-offs, and we felt this was worth it because we knew how frustrating it was going to be when you felt like you did absolutely everything you can to carry the team, but it just wasn't going to be. And it felt wrong to have punished that kind of effort. And we want to make sure players felt they had some sort of remediation from it. And so with that context, right, we knew that players always aspire to climb higher, to reach for more. And so for us, it's more about, hey, what are some of the additional experiences that we can give, whether that it be champion scores, be your lane scores, be your server rank, for example, or hey, how about you test your mettle in the legendary queue, right? There's a new other locations and aspirations that want to give to players for them to showcase their skill.
Fair enough, fair enough. And just checking to see if we have any more questions for us. Will you bring back the pro scene for WildRift esports? Overall, what is next for community play?
Thanks for that. And we referenced Smash earlier on, right? And so we know how important organized play is for our community. A lot of times it's not necessarily about, oh, this is what like the franchise pro clubs, what that experience looks like, because folks, right now, that's already happening. That's Worlds. That literally just happened a couple hours ago. That is going on right now. And we knew that we needed a differentiated experience on WildRift to satiate our players' need, right, for organized and this kind of high-level experiences. And so where did we go from there? We went back to grassroots, right? We wanted to be in your communities with creators that you know and love, and be there with you to play, to love, to experience. Like, that's what it's all about. And this is what the Smash experience is going to be about.
Yeah, well, I know I'm super excited to see how that unfolds. As for a reminder, for anyone that doesn't know, for Round Smash, it's going to be 2 pro teams from China as well as a bunch of creator teams from multiple regions. But now, you mentioned it. You talked about Worlds and just being able to see all these multiple ways to compete across the entire world. But we would love to hear some more questions being answered by John and Will.
All right. I can take this one? All right,
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good. So, will there be more regional global leagues in the future? In-game comp? So, there's a few thoughts here, right? Which is, the tech side, we are focusing on making more tools for custom and easier to use tournament tools. There's some technical complexities with tournament APIs and things like that we'll need to sort out. But at the end of the day, we do want to empower the community, and we are, however, of general gaming experience improvements like client performances, latency, visual effects first for everybody. But we will definitely be looking into it. And we've thought about it.
We can also look into the prioritization
Absolutely,
part.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, John. I'm going to give you a quick one. A viewer is very curious to ask, can we get AP ratio for Twitch?
Yeah, I would say we will think about it. So there are different ways the players can choose their playstyle. For example, change their items or change their runes. So we've also worked on some around gaming systems. For example, the preset item for the recommendation by some of our influencers. So players can look into different loadouts for different champions. So for the AP Twitch part, I think that's a potential solution for the playstyle, but we don't want that to be the only solution.
Okay, sounds good. All right, quick next question. What is the process of redesigning champions with very old models like Zillion or Nidalee?
I think for every champion we make, it's not only about porting from League of Legends to WildRift. There's a lot of changes we are making because our map is smaller, our pace is faster. So every champion we make to WildRift, we take it very seriously. And also we reworked on our champion models. So for old champion models, for example, Zillion and Nidalee, not only the champion models, but also the gameplay. So that is why we did some adjustments on Zillion, and it worked really well in our community feedback. So we will continue to keep the ball rolling and to see how we can do the best for our different champs.
Much appreciated.
And talking about the champs, also for the playstyle, so are there any plan to address toxic behavior in WildRift? Because players are always asking about AFK, trolling, or other unsportsmanship behaviors in the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's a few things, right? Let's talk about what we believe in. We believe in play to win, play fair, and play respectful. I think some of the behaviors that create a negative community is something that we take very seriously in WildRift and across Riot, right? And we're gamers too, and we really understand the frustrations, right? And actions at the end of the day speak louder than words. So let me tell you about some of the things we've done and what we're going to be doing as well. So we've been heavily focusing on Vanguard NTG systems and our reputation system in WildRift, right? And with Vanguard's launch, and this is very fresh out of the oven data, what we've seen is an 85% reduction in games with cheaters. And not only that, since launch, we've banned another 20,000 cheaters out and removed them from the Rift. Work is in progress to tackle more negative behaviors in the game, and we're going to be expanding more on our reputation systems and anti-cheat. And we want to give players and you, viewers, more visibility that your reports are not going unnoticed, and we do take those reports very seriously, and we do manually review a lot of those reports as well. So, all right, going to the next one. John,
sure.
Ready? What new feature released recently that you are most proud of?
So talking about recently, I want to talk more about today's patch update. I think players can also see on the patch notes, there are a lot of updates. The key features you might have already noticed. I want to highlight some small quality of life changes. For example, we want to make our Summoner's Rift and our damage clarity, provide more clarity to our Summoner's Rift. So that is why we did some upgrade on our floating text. Floating damage text to the game. So that is why I think we have many small quality of life changes to the game, even though players may not find out. But I think those are all the features, every feature we ship, we think we are super proud of. So what do you say, David? So what new feature recently released are you most proud of?
I'm right there with you, John. Some of the things under the hood might not be the sexiest, but they really do make the difference when you're playing the game every single day, right? And outside of that, well, also gameplay. Right? We're talking about new champions, skins, but look out for the newest iteration of ARAM.
So is that the official way we say it? ARAM? Because I was looking at it as like ARAM, but I mean, you're the expert.
Folks fight me on it. If you're hearing from me, it is ARAM.
All right. Well, we'll answer that another time. But for our actual next question, will there ever be a way to do our profiles with more customization?
Oh, absolutely, right? This is the intention of us trying to surface some of that personalization, ability to customize your backdrop, the ability to showcase some of your favorite skins, like collective legends, for example, right? These are all ways that we're trying for players to be able to tell another player, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm all about. So absolutely look out for more changes there, look out for new features, but also, if there are specific things you want to see, ways to show off that you want to be able to have, let us know and we're trying to make it happen.
Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind, David. I've got another question. Ooh, this one's spicy. Will WildRift be coming to console?
Yeah, this is a spicy one. Thanks for that, Rafa. We talked about this a little bit back on my socials earlier on. And the reality is we are focused on mobile at this point. And I also do want to let players know that there's a huge benefit with this degree of focus and just diverting all of our attention and resources on mobile, right? For example, if we were still trying to be on this kind of multi-platform, if we had a new champion with a brand new control scheme, control mechanic, well, if we're on both console and mobile, we got to make sure it works across these different control paradigms, right? But now we're saying we're so dedicated and focused on creating the best possible mobile experience that allows us to really try to push the envelope and create something folks have not seen before on mobile.
That totally makes sense. I mean, we're so already 5 years down the road, and I think the focus is the right way to go. Next question for you, David. Do you plan to bring more items in 2026, even more than we had this year?
Well, we're always looking for ways to tinker, right, with new items. We know this is a huge part of kind of the play fantasy. We call this the 0 to hero progression, right?
Okay.
You start out the game, you're level 1, you're kind of just like fighting each other with your basic attacks, right? But towards the end, when things start stacking, things start ramping, oh my gosh, you get like item 1, item 2, like you hit your item breakpoints. Right? That experience is crucial for us. And we want to make sure each major item purchase feels like your champion just got this, right? It should feel epic.
It should be a big spike.
It should be a big spike. It should feel epic. It should be like, oh, if I couldn't do this before, but what does it look like now after I get right this brand new item? And so this is something very important for us. It keeps the pace of the game in a way that we like. It's something critical that we know is part of the fantasy of this growth throughout the game.
Totally makes sense, and I know that with the addition of Spirit Shojin, that is going to make that fantasy even more realizable.
Get the spell slinging, folks.
Yeah. Just pop your ultimate and go pew, 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 pew. We're going to be able to sling them all over Summoner's Rift. Now, I believe we still have a couple more questions. Will blank champion come to Wild Rift? Now, I know I've been asking this about Nidalee for the past 5 years. I got it answered, thankfully, this morning. But David, there might be other people who are waiting on who knows what other champions we still have left on the table.
For sure. And so, like I mentioned earlier, like being able to allude and kind of like sprinkle teasers in about champions has been one of my favorite things to do. And keep on sending your requests about which champion you'll like to see. For us, a lot of times it comes down to this, again, it's always this delicate balance of, hey, what new play style do we want to be introducing? Where's the meta game now? What new champions can we introduce to shape up the meta? Also trying to be balanced between, hey, we can't launch, for example, a string of ADCs or a string of marksmen, a string of mages. There's got to be that balance.
You got to keep it diversified.
Exactly. And players, you guys can look out for a champion article that we're going to be releasing either later this year or early next, where we give you a deeper dive into our plans.
Gotcha. Well, a reminder for everyone at home, if you haven't done this already, and we'll keep reminding you as much as we can, scan the QR code or check the pinned link in chat, because we're still giving away some special surprises. And speaking of surprises, David, we got to check in on the cake and see how that is going. As we mentioned before, that first layer, origins and the beginnings of where Wild Rift started. but now we are on the middle layer where this is all about the evolution of the game, how the community feedback really does make a difference in what the final version looks like at the end of the road.
Yeah, absolutely, right? We talk about this game cannot be done without the feedback from our players. You letting us know whether it is which champion you like to see, what new items you want to see, what new maps and modes and experiences you want to see. Every single one of these we cherish and we do our best to meet.
Yeah, is that Kog'Maw on the second layer there? Am I seeing that right?
I think that's our favorite white puppy right there.
Well, there you go. That just goes to show that it's like a special way of being able to represent how when people were asking for Kog'Maw or whatever champion was going to come next to Wild Rift, it's represented right there in the final product there, and just being able to see all the culminations of the new skin lines that are either shared between Wild Rift and League or exclusive to Wild Rift. It is a 5-year journey, and I'm just so excited that the cake is already looking so fantastic as we continue building upon it. Make sure that you are checking and continuing to engage with us in chat, because there's still more surprises that are coming your way.
We're still cooking.
We're still cooking. I mean, we're literally cooking live right now. Thank you to our wonderful pastry chef, Charity, as she is putting the cake together. But we want to hear from John and Will and see what their reactions are to the cake so far.
I'll tell you something I'm super excited about, John. AAA ramp.
Yeah.
Hey.
So welcome everyone. So this is where we dive into what's the current state and the future of WildRift.
All right.
And patch 6.3 is alive. So AAA RAM or ARAM is coming tomorrow.
Yeah, that is super exciting. John, do you know what my most gameplay mode is? It's AAA RAM. I keep wanting to say AAA RAM, but it's AAA RAM.
David named it.
David named it.
David named it.
We lost that coin toss, right? All right, so let's kind of talk a little bit about what players can look forward to in 6.3. All right, ready? Okay. Why don't you start first?
Yeah, I think over the patch we are launching like several key significant moments. For example, our collaboration with Worlds, as we mentioned in the patch preview, as well as we do have some interactions with Mash that David talked about. But today, I do think we can deep dive into more details, hopefully not too academic, but we can elaborate more on like why we are thinking those ways and why we are launching those features and content.
Sounds great.
Let's start with the champs.
Yeah. All right, let me do this. Okay.
Sure.
Drum roll, please. Right. New champions. Right. This is one of the favorite parts. Nidalee is coming to the Rift. I've seen some folks already playing. Right. Rel is coming to the Rift. And then we also have Kog'Maw coming to the Rift as well.
Right. So we've got a lot of like teasers in the community as well.
Yep.
For different new champions, there are 2 reasons why we are bringing in those 3 champions. For Nidalee, she's really an esports champion. So that is why before the Worlds, we want to bring in some of the esports spirit to the game. So does Rel. And for Rel, we do have another reason. It's been a while since we launched our tanky support. I think that's like 3 years ago. So for Rel, I think like David said, we are like selecting our champions based on our complexity, as well as the lane preferences and different classes of the champions. So that's where Rel comes in. And for Kog'Maw, also, it's been long-waited marksman that we want to launch for the players.
Absolutely. It is so cute and deadly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so cute.
One of the favorite skins back in the day from way back in League is definitely the lion. Anyway, yeah, the lion Kog'Maw. Anyways, so let's kind of talk about the reworks a little bit, right? So there's a few things we have in the reworks. There's a Zyra rework. There's a Yuumi rework. Tell me why. Tell me a little bit about why were they done.
Yeah, I think for Yuumi and Zyra, so we deliberately choose some of the champions to rework. I think Yuumi is really like forgiven champion where like players are always using Yuumi, but the presence is not super high in the game. So Yuumi, we want Yuumi to find their true best friend.
Yep.
So that is why we reworked on the Yuumi for the synergies with different like marksmen on the bot lane. And for Zyra, we believe that Zyra is not collecting her seeds very well currently. So seeds are not very like visible to the players. So we want to do some like add some magic to the seeds of Zyra and to bring back her CD base.
Yeah, let's talk about something you community might really care about a little bit more as well. Any gameplay talk a little bit more about?
Yeah, I think we can start with some of the support items. So this patch is more about the tankier support. So we did the adjustment for several items for support, and then we introduced a new support item. Just a reminder, just because David said like some of our team members are like support mains, doesn't mean like we want to do some rework on support. For support, it's so this role in this lane does a lot of work but they're not like super recognized by other players as we see from the community. So that is why we spent a lot of efforts in late nights for support. And for the gameplay part, there's many like small changes behind the hood. I think the small changes are like we're providing more clarity to the map, and also we're changing the game pace. For example, we're seeing like some feedback from the community. We're not doing a lot of the map changes, but we are doing the pace changes. For example, stats of the home guard, where we want to make every kill on the lane more meaningful. That is why we are shortening some of the home guard refresh time.
Okay.
And talking about the map, I think it's not a mistake, but we want to roll back the bush position from the middle of the lake to the wall adjacent position. So we roll back some of the changes we've done before, and there are new coming. We are planning now, but they're all behind the scene. But we are doing some of the map changes in the future.
Very
for
cool.
sure.
That's great. Tell me about flow improvements.
Yeah, I think flow improvement is also like the quality of life changes. For example, we're changing some of the duration. For example, in the pick and ban phase, the whole like session when players join the game, they make the queue until they feel the fun of the game. We want to shorten the experience. So to focus their time more on the core gameplay experience. So that's why we did some flow improvements, and we did some, for example, loadout recommendation features for the players to recommend some of the like different play styles of different champions.
Sounds good.
And also, I think you talked about our like faster matchmaking to be anticipated for this patch. So please do like feel excited for our faster matchmaking, so you can get into the game faster and you can engage with others faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a new game mode.
Right.
I hear.
Right.
What is this? What is this, John?
Yeah, we've always hearing the feedback from the players. They want to like shorter session games, so that is why we want to make a mode called Turbo Mode. So we want control or limit the time of the match within 10 minutes. So to that end, we're like changing the pace of the game, and also we're introducing some of the mechanic like bounty or like strategic point whenever like players get to kill the opponent, or they can get certain like monsters in the game, like jungle like objectives in the game. They can get a point, and collecting those points, they can do the damage to the turrets. That will also accelerate the total game pace. And for the late game, we want to have or trigger some of the mechanism for the players to end the game faster. So that is the thinking process behind why we are thinking of this mode. And talking about the game mode, I think there are two like bets or experiments we're running right now. One is called the Return of Animal, and the other one is Daredevil's Gambit.
Okay.
I think that Daredevil's Gambit is super interesting to us. For us, we do want to like for those who has a very large champion pool, they can they can lock down their champion with confidence. So whatever champion they choose, so during the like loadout phase or during the like waiting stage, players can choose if they want to gamble. If they choose to gamble, they can get extra gold when they get into the game.
Okay.
So which proves that they're super confident with their like champion pool and also their play style.
Wow.
So those are two experiments we want to do for our casual players. and also the carnival. We found that the item is like progression is super linear in the game. So we want to introduce the animal to provide more surprises that players can trigger, because David said before that we are a zero-sum game in Summoner's Rift. So we don't anticipate that like similar experience and pressure to be casted on our casual players. So that is why we introduce our return of the animal.
Very cool. So there's lots of different play styles possible in this game, it sounds like. And you know, let's kind of talk a little bit about celebrations, right?
Sure.
Like, John, why do you kick us off? Why do you kick us off?
Yeah, it's our party. So talking about the celebrations, we have many mini games and exclusive skins. And as we mentioned, Garden Party Braum will be freely giveaway, and we have lots of free skins to be gifted out through the patch. I would say we have different like vibes of different dynamics within the patch. So so keep staying with us from the very beginning of the patch through, for example, Worlds to all the way to our Smash and all the like surprises that we are preparing for the players.
Absolutely.
So we do anticipate our players to enter the Rift and earn our glories. So we're super excited to announce our patch. So as I mentioned, every feature, every content we deliver, they're like deliberately designed or with our like fully thought. So we do want to learn like if our thought, what did work, what didn't work. So hearing back from the players is the most proud thing we are doing right now.
Right. And folks, for those who are listening, John loves feedback. So if you're not into any of the changes, let him know. If you love the changes, let us know as well. And obviously, participate in chat as well. All right.
Yeah, I guess majority of the players are already downloaded our new patch and try out Nidalee. So I'm also a like jungle main, so Nidalee is super exciting to me. Even for like the test server, we
Very cool.
Play tested her a lot, and even though the complexity is super high, but we do want to challenge ourselves to be a jungler and to help our teammates, support our teammates, to let them know like we are always being there.
Yeah, it's a tough lane. We appreciate you. We have lots of supports, not that many jungles on the team. So, all right, back to David and Rafa.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Can't talk
there?
right now, David. I'm in the middle of they got
Are
buried.
you playing on set?
Dude, I've been waiting 5 years
You
to
got
play
a show to
Nidalee.
go on.
Oh shoot, we're back.
You better hit those spears.
I didn't hit that last one. Sorry, guys. We do have many more wild additions to run through, not just with upcoming this patch that just dropped earlier this morning, but also in the future. But David, before we get to one of the most exciting parts about this patch, we would love to hear from chat what you all think is the most exciting part about patch 6.3 that just dropped earlier today. I know there's things like, obviously, for me, Nidalee, and we're going to have more champions coming along the way like Rel and Kog'Maw, but we have ARAM, Turbocharged Rift, and David, I know for you, you're very excited about the collaboration with Worlds 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about family, we've been talking about community, and I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to celebrate with everybody for the 15 years of League esports. Like, what a milestone, right?
Yeah.
15 years. This is an iconic moment, not just for our game, but for all the fans who celebrated along with this journey, right? I still remember every single World Championship, what I was doing, what happened back then, and WildRift had the chance to contribute to that, right? With our champions, with our new skins, dedicated so that, hey, if you are also a fan of League esports, like I am, like I know many of us are, there's a chance for you to also jump into the fray and celebrate with everybody.
And before we continue further, David, it looks like the most excited that people are about are the new champions. I mean, there's probably a bunch of Nidalee fans that were also waiting for her to come out. I know that whenever we get to see new champions that have yet to make their mark on Summoner's Rift, that is always an exciting part because there's so many champions to take from League and just bring it over. I've been waiting 5 years for Nidalee. Hopefully, people don't have to wait so much longer for other champions and fan favorites. I've been hearing of of LeBlanc on the web, but I don't know if that's going to be happening anytime soon here, David.
I can neither confirm nor deny any of these suggestions.
He's PR trained, chat. We're not going to get him today. But in the spirit of being one big community, as you talked about, we got to talk about ARAM Mayhem, because you talked about how not only we have the collaboration with League of Legends for Worlds 2025, but now we get to have a little bit of a gift back to League of Legends themselves.
Yeah, so much so, right? Like in this collaboration with Worlds and WildRift, we didn't want it just to be only cosmetic, right? We didn't want this to be, oh, you get a goodie here, you get a skin. We want to go much deeper than that. And what better way than to be on the most chaotic mode that we have on ARAM. And then from there, League saw that, took inspiration from it, and is now launching ARAM Mayhem on League of Legends. A lot of the same, pick your augment on ARAM, create your craziest experiments. That's the same experience you're gonna have, whether that's on PC or WildRift. Again, we want you to experience the awesome, crazy, mayhem, epic, chaotic nature anywhere, whether that is in front of your PC or on the go.
Absolutely. And one of the things that's just so cool about being able to see the collaboration is when WildRift first came out, I know that there was a lot of features that were new and exclusive to WildRift that eventually got implemented into League of Legends, whether it was the ability to swap your pick order with someone and playing a ranked queue, and now we go all the way 5 years down the road, ARAM Mayhem being an evolution of ARAM from WildRift. I think it is just an awesome, completely super cool thing. But the fact that a new season is on the way, if you're checking out the video, make sure you pay attention to see if there's any other surprises that you might find. Check it out.
The First Lands have long stood against great evils. Much has changed. Much has not. The mighty still walk this world. March with us and shake the earth. Eternal aspect. Watch our battle. May the stars finally become our allies.
Come on, try and catch me!
Even you, gentle hearts. Show us your hidden power.
By the light!
Strike true!
There is much to be learned. Weapons to discover. Techniques to master. This war may be ancient, but the path of history turns always to balance. So let us remind them how this story will end.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Between the new patch for Wild Rift and the new season coming out for League of Legends as well, the winter map looks so beautiful, and already getting a chance to witness some of the crazy things you can do on ARAM Mayhem thanks to those augments you were talking about.
They're absolutely cooking over there on PC land, and for sure, right? Like, I think seeing what new combinations, things you can do with the augments in ARAM, that has been, honestly, a lot of times you gotta tell people, gotta stop playing at work. We're spending too much time. We got a game to make still. Right?
That is one of the pitfalls of working at a video game company, because work is play and play is work, but then the line between both is pretty crazy and sometimes hard to define. But a reminder for everyone in the chat. We've mentioned it a few times already, and we're going to continue doing it. Just we want to make sure that you guys get all a chance to participate. Scan the QR code or use the pinned link in the chat, because there's still a few more surprises left that might happen by the end of the stream. But one of the things that I would love to share with you, David, and just the overall collaboration and the experience that we have, is that without WildRift, I don't think I would have been ever opened up to a global community that I probably would have never known before. That WildRift gave me the opportunity to travel to Singapore for the very first time. And I'm so excited that I'm gonna travel to Southeast Asia again, to Vietnam, and I made some lifetime friends that I'm gonna get a chance to reunite with them over in Vietnam for the Wild Round Smash. And we were just geeking out about, I was like, oh my gosh, it's already been 3 years since Icons in Singapore. We're gonna get a chance to re-experience all of that and get together again. And it just, it's one of the beautiful things about WildRift, bringing people together all over the world.
Yeah. We see the shared hype, shared excitement across our players in different regions, but also we get a chance to see the unique elements for each different region. One of my most salient memories that I have about the early, some of the balance and gameplay aspects of the game was when we saw drastic play preference differences and almost win rate differences. I remember some regions where, hey, Zaya, for example, had this astronomical win rate in China, but it was different in the rest of the world. And also, for example, how excited our Brazilian players were when we got Mordekaiser finally right, in their hands. So just again, seeing both what the shared community that everybody builds, but also everybody takes a different spin, right? They're able to put their own unique element towards that. That part has been awesome.
I mean, I remember looking at some of the win rates over in different regions as well, seeing that over, at least in NA, I never saw a Mumu above a 50% win rate before. And then parts of the world, 55, 56. It's like, oh my gosh, people understand that Mumu is completely broken. And I think that was around the same time that Rammus first came to the fray, and then people started realizing, hey guys, tank junglers might be cooking here a little bit.
Yeah, we actually absolutely try to keep a tab on Amumu specifically. We have one dev, and we kind of nicknamed him Nuclear Amumu, because he just builds full AP on Amumu and absolutely destroys during our play test. So yeah, glad to see some of these things again propagate across different regions, but also seeing everybody just cooked up their own flavor of it.
That's right. Well, one of the things that we want to ask in chat as well is just what are you looking forward to in the new year, whether it's a new champion to main, or what do you wish to see in the future for WildRift. I already know that one of my aspirations is, now that Nidalee is back in the game, I used to be a big ranked fiend, and for me, I don't play ranked that much. I usually just like queuing up normally and just being able to play with my friends, but it's the one time where I think, oh, if Nidalee's in the game, I will play 24/7. So I want to put in a bunch of games on her. I want to be able to, my peak in 2022 when I was in Singapore on the Southeast Asia server was 1 game away from Masters, but my flight was the next morning. I had to go to sleep. I had to make sure I caught my flight. So I was just sitting there at D1, but I want to hit Masters with Nidalee and see if I can try and push into Grandmaster or even Sovereign. But what about you, David? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, I also have lofty rank goals. I'm trying to compete with John here, making sure he doesn't always get ahead of me, though that has been a tall order. I haven't had many wins under my belt against John. But outside of our little squabbling rivalry, something that I want to make sure we do better next year and do more of is experiences like this, right? Talking more with our fans, getting in front of fans, speaking with our players. Nothing beats in-person feedback, and we wish to be in front of you all more often, hearing your feedback, and just getting engaged and chat more often.
And David, I'm going to ask and put you on the spot as well. Do you look forward to maybe more skins being developed, maybe some more Calligraphia, or maybe some Fiend Queller in the future?
Well, you absolutely hit on, I think, again, a couple of my favorites. I already gushed about how much I love Calligraphia, and Fiend Queller is another one of these where, again, we went real deep on the thematic, the vision of what it could be. So yeah, I really hope that players can share in that journey, that excitement, just as much as I had fun with these these skin lines.
Yeah, and we're gonna get a chance to read some of the answers that we saw in chat as we were, talking about our own wishes for 2026, or even starting after the live stream ends today. I'm seeing a lot of getting better in the game, more skins, as we already mentioned. I hope we continue to have lots of fun together. That's always a nice, beautiful sentiment. I mean, that is, for me, what Wild Rift has always been about. There's so many friends that don't necessarily have time for League, but then Wild Rift, an accelerated, rapid version of the game. It's on the phone, and once you get over the barrier of just being accustomed to the dual thumbstick control, it is just such a fun experience. And one of my closest friends, Kangas, we always talk about how, man, like if I come out to LA and I visit him, or he comes out to Utah where I live and he visits, we can't play League together because we can't bring our PCs and we can't bring laptops,
exactly.
But we can bust out our phone and we can look at being able to play a Wild Rift game or two together, or sometimes we'll just span it out to 5. But I'm hearing everyone from chat that we actually have more lucky winners to announce. So if you're one of them, make sure to check your inbox over the next few days. There's going to be some really, really cool surprises waiting for you. And for everyone else in chat, there's still a couple more surprises that we have left to give. So make sure you're using that pinned link in chat, scanning the QR code, and participating with us. Thank you to everyone who has been with us so far from the beginning of the stream. We're almost 2 hours in. It feels like time has really flown by here, David, just like how 5 years have flown by as well. And thinking of the future, David, I know that we have a lot of champions on the horizon from League, but is there a chance that maybe we can expand the envelope a bit?
Well, we kept talking about teasing new champions being one of our favorite things to do. And honestly, we thought we were clever. We were trying to sprinkle some of those metaphors, allusions for players to pick up and guess what we're going to be launching. We did actually have another one in our most recent dev release as well. I think we did a much better job this time around. Folks haven't caught on as quickly as they used to.
I know that whenever we drop a patch, there's like an explicit teaser for the next champion coming out, but I didn't remember seeing one, so tell me more.
All right, well, I guess you got to go back and look at the video again, because we did have one hidden there, but also, right, this is 5 years, folks. This is our 5-year stream, Rafa. Right? We can't just have many tiny little teasers here for folks. So I did also then want to tease out that we will have another new champion in the 7.0 patch, where it's going to be a new champion for the first time on the Rift. And
say that again.
A champion making their first trip on the Rift. And I think rumor has it that I hear it's going to be a mage.
So, a champion making their first ever appearance on the Rift.
That's right. That's right.
Guys, you know what that means. We're getting an original champion to Summoner's Rift. That's
I don't know.
You know what? I have to now imagine where this champion is coming from. Why don't we ask the chat where? Oh, let's get a poll up going. If moderators, if we can get one going. Where is this champion coming from? What region will the new Wild Rift champion be originating from? I have to think through, like, are we going to get Ionia? Are we going to get Freljord? And this is a champion that we have never seen before, and we would love to hear your answers, chat, because I'm scrambling right now, and I can't even think of all the regions that we have, just because my mind is so excited right now. Ionia, Ishtal, Freljord, Demacia, Noxus, Shadow Isles, Bilgewater. Is there anything else that you can share with us, David?
Well, I think we have given enough hints today to keep the excitement going, but I did want to share, right? This is a absolute huge endeavor that we have taken on. We know how important champions are to everybody, right? This is literally the identity. I see myself in that champion, and every single champion that we will ever release, we will never let them just fall by the wayside. We will support them throughout eternity, right? And so any new addition that comes into our game, we have to treat them with such care and respect, and knowing that they're going to be a meaningful part of, even if you're not playing that champion, even if you're not maining that champion, well, they might be your opponent. They might show up in lane. they might change your overall experience of the game. And so again, this is a new challenge that we're taking on. We hope to hear more feedback. We're all about experimentation. We're all about trying new things here on WildRift. And so please be patient with us, right? Tell us what you think about it. And we know that we're gonna take your feedback and we're always gonna try to level up and elevate it to the next.
Wow, I'm just blown away. I'm seeing some people in chat thought that maybe it's coming from Targon, which is also a good shout. Bandle City.
I'm just like taking notes over here. That's where we gotta go next. Right?
Maybe it could be a Yordle. Who knows? But we want to let. And one of the things that I want to be able to continue talking about, David, is not only we have a potential champion that is coming for the first time on Summoner's Rift in general, but we're going to be checking in with our cake as well, because this is the future. This is what is in store for WildRift as well. I'm already excited about all these new changes, these things that you are teasing for us here, David, but I know that there's not much that you can really give us more about until later on, but is there anything else that you can tease, not necessarily about the new champion, but other things that you have planned?
Well, I think this is the best type of interactions here, best type of interruptions here, which is a thank you. Right? We want to have a huge thank you to everybody who joined us here on the stream to celebrate WildRift's 5th anniversary with us. And to show our appreciation, we're gifting a random role-specific skin chest to every person who registered their valid Riot ID with us. Now we're going to do our absolute best to get the gifts to you within 30 days because we're so grateful for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Follow WildRift social accounts for even more details and updates.
And with that, that is the future, as wrapped as neatly as we could, because the future is truly open-ended. And now we get a chance to see how the cake has turned out by the end. Look at that. The third layer finally decorated, representing what's to come, what is in store for WildRift's future, and what more stories that can be had. I think there's only one thing left to do, David. We have to put a topper on this. We have to really crown this moment because it is a wonderful achievement for the. But before we do, David, I think it's most fitting that if we let the community decide what we end up putting on top of this cake representing 5 years for us. So, David, between community, skill, and joy, we're going to ask in chat as well what you think represents WildRift most. What is most important to you about this game between community, skill, and joy?
Well, thanks for that question there, Rafa. And please, community, chat, let us know what you think. And we've been talking about every single one of these pieces, right, throughout this entire stream here. Really, I can't choose between one. They're all important.
Yeah.
But your question there was, what was one thing that I would want to see?
Yeah.
And Rafa, it's all skill, right? It's just got to be skill. And
This guy thinks he's Ezreal.
right? I don't need a map here, right? Put the skill up there.
Absolutely. And everyone, make sure you are answering in chat whether or what is most important to you, whether it's community, skill, or joy, because there is one final reward left to be given by the end of the stream. But I'm gonna close out the poll. We got all of our answers in. We're gonna tally up and get response from production on what you all decided is the crown topper.
It's community.
It's community. And I think that represents community so beautifully. And just being able to symbolize all the stories, all the memories, all the experiences that we share, because it's not just individual stories and experiences. It's all about the ones that we make together. A huge shout out to our pastry chef, Charity. Thank you so much for putting this together.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. I mean, this looked fun while we were just, chilling on the two chairs, and you're able to just go to town and really put a beautiful masterpiece together.
It's an incredible game. Incredible game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just brilliant, beautiful characters.
And to celebrate, right, everything that we have up so far, we want to again give back and thanks the community and everybody who has been with us throughout our stream here. here we want to show everybody the Hall of Heroes, right? Where everybody who has participated, been with us throughout this stream,
Yeah.
we're going to show you that who was here with us along the way.
That's right. If you were here from minute one, or if you tuned in earlier on, we saw you, we heard you, and we were able to get you on this beautiful. But before we do, we have our final winner that will receive a very, very special surprise. Make sure you keep your eyes locked and loaded on that inbox in your Riot account, because I'm pretty sure you're going to have some nice bragging rights about that gift.
I think they'll like this one. Please tell us on socials, get back to us. What did you think?
Yeah, we would love to see your reaction to such an awesome surprise there. But as David was saying, the Hall of Heroes, the Heroes Hall, is something that is meant to represent everyone that tuned in with us on the live stream earlier this morning throughout our time together. It's been crazy that 2 hours has just flown by
Absolutely.
that quickly, but this game is all about being able to just keep this community alive, and you guys are driving that forward. And we want to take this time to pass it over to John and Will so that they can get their things in before we close out the stream.
Thanks, folks. Yeah, I was literally like sweating when David talked about our first champion, and there are a lot of like pieces. To be honest, I was kind of freaked out. And David is super generous about the rewards. I think we want to emphasize that. So do remember, so everyone who's in the streaming, do remember to scan the QR code or like join the link to your Riot account. We are giving out a free skin chest, so you can claim the reward within 30 days. So when you open the chest, you can get a free skin.
Yeah. Let me just clarify really quick.
Okay.
Everybody fill in the form, and everyone who links in their appropriate Riot ID will be able to get a random skin chest within the next 30 days. And I will personally make sure all of those things.
Yeah, and
Gets
thank
delivered.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because or else it gets sent to me anyway.
Yeah, I think we need to show our like gratitude and also our appreciation to other players who have been with us for the past 5 years, especially those like who are with us since the beta launch. So we've spent a lot of time together. We hope like we are very excited to celebrate together in the past 5 years, and we are looking forward to the next 5 years.
Absolutely. It's been an amazing 5 years, and thank you folks for that amazing journey. And we're looking forward to 5 more years, 10 more years with you. So just keep us on our toes, give us the feedback, continue to support. We'll see you in Vietnam. Hopefully. Come. Participate. We have a cake too.
Right.
All right, David, we're going to send it back to you and Rafa for the other cake. We have one too.
Yeah, we have one too.
And making sure that everyone else knows that even though we're about to end our stream in just a couple minutes here, the celebration is going to continue. Every other region around the world is going to have their specific and very special regional stream that you can celebrate with your regional communities. And it's going to be such a fun time being able to see how all those turn out, David.
Yeah, more rewards, more surprises. We're going to local.
And I hear there's going to be a lot of unique surprises in those regional streams, very tailored to, you know, the flavor of those communities as well.
We want to be there with you, and so it means that being with the creators, being there with the people that you care about, and that's going to happen.
I hate to cut you off, but there's a slice of cake. Did we cut this, Charity?
No.
Somebody's nibbling it.
What? What happened?
Who took our cake?
I didn't even get a chance to cut it. What happened to our cake? Well, I'm not sure what happened to that piece of cake. John and Will, if you took some without us knowing, well played to you. But of course for us, ladies and gentlemen, this was an amazing journey of 5 years together. And we want to remind everyone at home that you are all the heartbeat that drives this game forward. You are what keeps the soul alive for something that has really brought a global community together over 5 years. We hope to see you in 5 years from now, maybe 10 years down the road, and continue witnessing the beautiful journey of this wonderful game. Thank you so much, and see you all next time.
See you on the Rift, folks. Is it cake time yet? I think it's cake time, right?
Yes!
Cake time! It's cake time! Oh, God, it's cake time!
Wait. We got some cake for everyone else. No!
I didn't cake!
Hold it back.
Give me cake!
wish that I could fall asleep with a light on. Nostalgic for the present tense, cause you're the way that I can rely on. Concrete nights, hearts out on the dash. Somewhere soon, we're gonna wish we could go back to these growing pains, our beating hearts, late night driving through the dark, and all the ways we fell so hard just to find out who we are. So take my hand, take the long way home, light a fire up before we go. Heaven knows, when the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. You could call it karma, how I found my lucky star in this weird city. Hanging out in shopping malls, cause there was nowhere else for us to be. Flying high down like an ash. Someday soon, we're gonna wish we could go back to these growing pains, our beating hearts, late night driving through the dark, and all the ways we fell so hard just to find out who we are. So take my hand, take the long way home, light a fire up before we go. Heaven knows, when the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life. We're gonna miss this life. When the clouds run out of time, we're gonna miss this life.